this week. Well, here I am. I'm ready to roll, and I'm ready to get things started. It's the James Espinosa Show, episode number 4. You can follow me on YouTube, Sports Rush Media. You got all my social media handles right there. And yeah, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and let's get this party started. Now, I did start a couple of minutes early because I wanted to give a quick take on the situation this morning between Victor Wembanyama and Britney Spears. When I saw the TMZ headline, I could not believe it. I thought I read it wrong at first. I thought I read that Victor Wembanyama slapped Britney Spears. And in my mind, I said, there's no way in hell that happened. Of course, I read the headline again, and it ends up that his security guard allegedly slapped Britney Spears. Now, from what the story's being reported, Britney tried to get Victor's attention at some point in Vegas, and the security guard, intervened, kind of put himself in the way, allegedly pushed Britney Spears' hand out of the way, and then Britney Spears' hand is the one that, I guess, hit herself, slapped herself, essentially. That's what the story's being told, but it's just going to show, and I've talked about this before on this show, on the podcast, on my sports radio show, the Sunday Sports Rush, that Victor is another type of star. I just did an episode on this a couple of weeks back saying that the Spurs have never seen a superstar quite like this. Now, things are going to be magnified, and things are going to be a little bit more crazy than they are now that the Spurs got Victor Wembanyama, and we just saw the first signs of this. That, hey, this guy is another type of star, and he's going to be in media scrutiny like one that we've never seen. So just by reading the story, no police reports were filed as of yet, and if anybody's going to get in trouble, it might be the Spurs security guard and not Victor Wembanyama. According to all reports, he did nothing wrong. So just wanted to kind of touch base on that. Crazy morning in Spurs Nation. Crazy, crazy morning. But here we are, and I'm ready to go ahead and get started with today's topic. Now, I wanted to go over the Cowboys offseason. What have the Cowboys done so far leading up to this point? We're about 2.5 weeks from training camp. I believe the Cowboys have their first official practice on the 27th or the 28th. So we are roughly, 2.5 to 3 weeks away from Dallas Cowboys training camp. And the question I have for you guys out there who are going to be watching, who are going to be listening along, what is your Dallas Cowboys confidence meter as we head into the 2023 season? How confident are you that this team can get over the hump of the NFC divisional round? How confident are you that they can make the NFC championship game? Now, notice I'm not going to say Super Bowl. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to put Super Bowl and Dallas Cowboys in the same sentence until they actually show me that they could get past the divisional round. I don't want to get my hopes up with this team. I never do. But just like all of you guys out there, when the season does start, I'll be definitely very, very hopeful that they can get past the divisional round. So what is your Cowboys confidence meter? Scale of 1 through 10. How are you feeling about the team right now? Hit up the chat. Hit up the comments. Go ahead and let me know what you feel about that. I would love to hear from you guys out there. Go ahead and get in on this. So let's get started. What have the Cowboys done this offseason? Well, they let go of Kellen Moore. Yeah, remember? That happened. He's now with the Chargers. The Cowboys then promoted Brian Schottenheimer and named him offensive coordinator. Mike McCarthy then came out and said that he's going to call the plays. So already, a couple of big things happened. They placed the franchise tag on Tony Pollard. He's going to make $10.09 million this year playing running back. The Cowboys then cut Ezekiel Elliott, which, in my opinion, was a long time coming. Zeke's production had slipped off a little bit. He wasn't the back that he once was. Still serviceable, though. Still a great short yardage goal line back, a touchdown vulture, but the Cowboys ended up cutting ties with Zeke. He was making too much money for the production that he was putting out there. The Cowboys then traded a 2023 fifth-round pick to the Colts for cornerback Stephon Gilmore. They then re-signed Cooper Rush, quarterback, to a 2-year contract, so he'll be the backup again. They acquired Brandon Cooks from Houston in exchange for a 2023 first-round pick and a 2024 sixth-round pick. They signed Jonathan Hankins, defensive tackle, which is a great signing for defensive tackle depth. They signed offensive tackle Terrence Steele to an exclusive rights tender. He'll make $4.3 million this season. Now, when it came to the draft, the biggest draft pick they made was their first-rounder, defensive tackle Mozzie Smith, out of Michigan, which was, in my opinion, a fantastic draft pick. Cowboys haven't really addressed defensive tackle too much in my time being a Cowboys fan, especially in the first round, so it was nice to see them make some investments like that. Now, biggest questions that need to be answered for the Dallas Cowboys. And I got a few of them for you. I'm going to try and rattle these ones off quickly and get my thoughts on them. Mike McCarthy as the play caller, Brian Schottenheimer as the new offensive coordinator. What will be different from Kellen Moore? How is this offense going to look? Is it going to be any different? Is it going to be 70% different? Is it going to be a total restructure of the offense? It's yet to be seen. Dak and company are saying that they're still keeping the majority of Kellen Moore's offense and that they're just adding new wrinkles with Mike McCarthy. Well, it's yet to be seen. It's yet to be seen in a game. It's yet to be seen at practice. So how will this offense look? I'm confident that Mike McCarthy will be able to get the job done as the play caller. I'm confident in Brian Schottenheimer as the offensive coordinator. They're going to work tandem. They're going to work hand in hand. And I think that's a good choice for the Cowboys. Now, a lot of people like to crap on Mike McCarthy because it's low-hanging fruit. He is the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He's a big guy. Sometimes he looks like a buffoon out there. I understand. I get it. Like I said, low-hanging fruit with Mike McCarthy. But when he was with Green Bay for 13 years, head coach of the Green Bay Packers, won a Super Bowl, by the way. Super Bowl head coach. A lot of people like to forget that note. In his stint in Green Bay, out of 13 seasons, 9 times he had a top 10 offense in points scored. Out of those 9 times, 7 times he had a top 5 offense in points scored. So 7 out of his 13 years, a top 5 offense. 9 out of the 13 years, a top 10 offense. Mike McCarthy knows how to produce offenses. I trust Mike McCarthy to do that. Now you might say, but he had Aaron Rodgers. He had Aaron Rodgers. Of course you're going to produce. So what? All great coaches have great quarterbacks, guys. Belichick, Brady, Reed, Mahomes, for instance. I mean, look, you got to have a great quarterback to operate your offense. They go hand in hand. It's like peanut butter and jelly. You know, they just work like that, guys. You cannot fault Mike McCarthy for having Aaron Rodgers when other successful Super Bowl head coaches have had top-tier Hall of Fame quarterbacks as well. That's just not fair. Hold the same standard to everybody. So I'm confident that Mike and Brian Schottenheimer will be able to keep this offense in the top 10 in points scored and be able to move this offense a little bit more efficiently, especially in those late season situations where we saw the offense sputter under Kellen Moore. Now, the post-Zeke era, Tony Pollard featured back. Can he take the grind and the workload of a 17-game regular season? Last year, Pollard had 193 attempts rushing, 1,007 yards, so over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, about 5.2 yards per carry, 62.9 yards per game, 39 receptions, about 371 yards, 9.5 per reception, and 3 touchdowns. Tony Pollard's a Mr. Do-It-All, everything back, but this will be the first time that he's going to be tasked to be the number 1 running back. So big question right there. Can Tony Pollard handle the load of being the number 1 running back of the Dallas Cowboys? Another thing, are we going to see the emergence of a second running back with this team? Right now, you got Malik Davis from last year who did a serviceable job in the times that he did get on the field. They brought in Ronald Jones as a free agent running back, and they also drafted Deuce Vaughn out of Kansas State, the little running back who is just absolutely electric. Who will emerge as running back number 2? That is my second question. I personally think that it's going to be Malik Davis. I really do like what he showed last year. That Titans game, he ran very hard, and he showed that he could take some bumps and bruises, and he does have some burst. So I like Malik as the second running back for the Cowboys. Another question to ask yourself if you're a Cowboys fan heading into the 2023 season is the health of the offensive line. Now, I think this one here is going to be the biggest one of all. I think this one right here is going to tell you exactly how the Cowboys season is going. Let's look at the interior offensive line. You seem pretty set with Zach Martin at right guard, I should say. Tyler Biadasz at center. But who is going to start at left guard if, let's say, Tyron Smith gets hurt at left tackle? Now, of course, Tyler Smith, the rookie sensation who's going into his second year, he's slated to play left guard, and Tyron Smith's going to play left tackle. Guys, if we're counting on Tyron Smith to stay healthy, man, oh man, I don't know about that. I don't know what to say about that. Tyron Smith, since 2015, has missed 44 games. 44 games since 2015. In the past 3 seasons alone, since 2020, he has missed 32 combined games because of injury. That's pretty much 2 seasons missed in the past 3 years. I got absolutely no faith that he's going to be able to play all 17 games this year based on his recent injury history. He's long in the tooth. He's still one of the greatest left tackles in the game, but you're only as good as your availability, guys. And I just feel that Tyron Smith is not one to be counted on to start all 17 games. So in the event that he does go down, you're going to have to slide over Tyler Smith to left tackle, and then that leaves a hole at left guard. So just something to think about if you're a Cowboys fan. The health of the offensive line. Right tackle looks like it's going to be Terrence Steele, but how is he going to look, guys? Terrence Steele might not be ready for training camp, according to Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy said, quote, "We'll have to see when we get to Oxnard." Steele had knee surgery in December following tears to his ACL, MCL, and MPFL. That's a lot of acronyms. That doesn't sound good to me. Surgery in December, what are we, 6-7 months later? I mean, asking Terrence Steele to be 100% healthy at right tackle to start the season, that's a lot to ask for, and that is why the offensive line is definitely one of my greatest concerns with this Dallas Cowboys team this year. The depth, and if guys can be 100%, that is one of my biggest concerns if I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and that should definitely worry you if you are a Dallas Cowboys fan as well. Will Michael Gallup return to his form we saw pre-injury? Now, Michael Gallup hasn't had a 1,000-yard season since 2019, where he had 6 touchdowns, 1,107 yards, and averaged about 16.8 yards per reception. Since then, 2020, which, I mean, that's the Andy Dalton year. Everybody did kind of bad that year. The offense sucked. He had 843 yards. 2021, injury-riddled season, 445 yards. Last year, 11 games started, 14 games played. He had 424 yards, 4 touchdowns. We haven't seen Michael Gallup be the same Michael Gallup since 2019. That is concerning as well. Can he get back to form? But on the flip side, that's why the Cowboys made that move for Brandon Cooks, right? Brandon Cooks should be able to take over the second wide receiver spot and hopefully slide Michael Gallup down to a third wide receiver spot. I think that's what we're eventually going to see happen because Brandon Cooks can still put up numbers. 9 seasons in the NFL, 4 different teams, 6 1,000-yard seasons. He produces everywhere he goes, even with the Houston Texans, guys, who have shuffled in quarterbacks left and right, who started Davis Mills last year, didn't have the best season. I think Brandon Cooks is going to be just fine with the Cowboys. Now, another question to get to, I only got a couple of more, and then I'm going to end this video. How do we feel about Dak Prescott and the interceptions and the turnovers? If you go on to YouTube, you'll find Kurt Warner. He analyzed and broke down every one of Dak's interceptions. Now, Kurt Warner was a little bit harsh on Dak, but hell, Kurt Warner's a Hall of Fame quarterback, Super Bowl winner. So, I mean, he has every right to say what it is. He broke down the tape. He called it like it is. And there were a lot of times where Dak just made poor decisions. So decision-making on Dak Prescott, is it there? Can he shake off last season? Another big question that I have for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, confidence meter. Let's get to that, then I'm going to go ahead and end the show. My confidence meter for the Dallas Cowboys. As we head into the 2023 season, I love what they did in the offseason. I'll give Jerry Jones credit. They brought in some veterans. They brought in some solidified playmakers, some guys who could start right away in Cooks and Gilmore. I like that. They drafted a great defensive tackle, Mozzie Smith. They got rid of the fat contract of Zeke. They got rid of Kellen Moore. They made some proactive moves, and they did not just sit still. My confidence meter is this. I think this team right now, in terms of getting to an NFC championship game, I'm going to go confidence meter, and this is a tough one, but I'm going to go confidence meter at 7. I feel good about this team. I feel like they learned a lot from last year. I think this year under Mike McCarthy, they'll be able to be a little bit more of an efficient offense. Efficient being the key word. Efficient offense. I feel like it's a 7. Now, we'll see how it goes week by week. With, of course, in the NFL, week by week, right? You gotta definitely take it game by game. But I'm confident that the Cowboys can possibly make an NFC title game. And that's all I'll go. That's it. I'm not going to say Super Bowl. I'm not going to project that they win the Super Bowl. You got to get to the Super Bowl before I say Super Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys. That's just fact of the matter. You got to get to a damn NFC Championship game before I even dare mention Super Bowl and the Dallas Cowboys. So show me. Prove it. Prove it to all of us out there that you can get over this divisional hump, that you could beat teams like the 49ers on the road, that you could get past the Eagles in the playoffs. I need to see it. We need to see it. I think we can all agree on that. So, offseason review wrapped up. My confidence meter is a 7 that they can reach the NFC title game this year. All right, that's going to go ahead and wrap up the James Espinosa Show, episode number 4. Whenever I come back, it'll be next Tuesday for episode number 5. I'll have another topic at hand. But if you could, please subscribe to the channel. Sports Rush Media on YouTube, siredwardjames on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, and now on Threads. Yes, I have a thread. I'm joining the fad of everybody else. All right, get in on the comments. What is your Cowboys confidence meter? How do you feel about the team going into the 2023 NFL season? Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Talk to you